If everything... Will that button press? Okay, so yeah, I am. So, yeah, it's been quite a bit of time since I made a tier list, and last one I didn't have the, things in the description where you could just click and go through each character, so this time I'm gonna actually do that. Hopefully I'll have the time for it. That's my main issue, is I didn't have time to do that, but hopefully I will for this one. I think tomorrow I should be able to do it, if somebody doesn't do it already, which would be nice, but, I'll probably just do it myself. But yeah, this tier list is an ordered tier list, and they will be going from the bottom to the top, each character. So, let's start with Kirby and end with the character that I think is the best in the game at the moment. Or I guess 1 and 2 could swap in and out in my opinion, but it kind of just depends on what tier list you're looking at, or what kind of playstyle you prefer as well, could go into the decision. But yeah, I guess let's go ahead and get into it. So at the bottom it's going to be Kirby. Kirby is at the bottom of most tier lists. If it's not Kirby, then it's Little Mac. I do think that Kirby might be a bit better than Little Mac. That's kind of another one where I think they could be alternated around. The main issue with Kirby is just the lack of range and the slow airspeed. Makes it really easy to edgeguard Kirby. Even characters with poor abilities to edgeguard can edgeguard Kirby pretty well. Then Kirby really struggles to approach due to a lack of range, which is something that Little Mac does a bit better. He's a lot faster on the ground and can approach using smash attacks because they have super armor. So you have that going for you. It's Little Mac, but with Kirby you don't really have much. You can get the copy abilities to be able to use a character's neutral special with a bit more power and also a hat, but in some situations that's a lot more useful than in other ones. So yeah, and then on to Little Mac. As I said, I think that he could swap out with Kirby. Kirby's got a better recovery than Mac, but Mac's got better approach than Kirby, so that's why I think Mac is just slightly better. But yeah, he has super armor on his smash attacks, able to kill very easily, has some decent juggling with up tilt actually, and can combo that into up special at lower percents, although that's not really too much. They did take away his jab combo, where he could just jab into jab, which was kind of a pretty sizable nerf, but he still has down tilt, which has a hitbox where you can pretty much just combo it into anything. Combo it into forward smash, up smash, so you do have to watch out for that, and it's very fast and safe, so you can focus or shield, so it's a very good move, probably its best move, if I had to guess. I personally don't main Little Mac, but I would think that would be his best move. So yeah, moving on, next is going to be Isabelle. Isabelle just hasn't really gotten any results. I don't think Isabelle is like a character that most people would think is bottom tier, although I have seen her bottom tier in a pretty good amount of tier lists. Like, most people think that should be around where Villager is, and are probably wondering why Villager isn't on this part. But yeah, Isabelle just hasn't really gotten results. Fishing Rod is okay at best, not a good enough substitute in my opinion for Villager's Light Rocket, and then the lack of the axe that Villager has with his down special is also a pretty big nerf that Isabelle has to deal with compared to Villager. Next is going to be Lucario. Lucario just hasn't gotten any results. I'm probably underrating him a bit. Like, he might not be bottom tier, he might be a bit above bottom tier, but I don't think he's that good of a character. Not a lot of people really use Lucario. The ones that do don't really make any like placements of note, and yeah, just not really used. So I can't really say much about Lucario. If I'm being honest, I probably should put him in Unknown just because he doesn't receive enough use for me to be able to place him in a spot for sure. I believe it's Sue who makes Lucario and does actually kind of decent with him, but I mean, he's literally the only person I know that plays it, or at least have heard of. So yeah, next is going to be Jigglypuff. The buffs that Jigglypuff got were really nice, and allowing her to be able to get rest and combo a lot easier, but still really light, still has pretty poor range, Still struggle with a lot of the stuff that she struggled with before. They basically just made it where if she does get in, then she can kill, but the thing is she has to get in, or more likely people have to get in against her. And there's a lot of characters that just would rather camp Jigglypuff out because Jigglypuff's approach is a lot worse than them trying to approach Jigglypuff, so. And there are a lot of characters that can camp out Jigglypuff as well, like Samus's Mega Man, characters like that. Okay, so moving up, we've got D tier. So at the bottom of D tier are going to be Pit and Dark Pit. I honestly think these characters could do a lot better than D tier, just that they don't receive a lot of use, which is why I have them in D tier. They have pretty good range. They've got the arrows. Dark Pit is actually better than Pit. I probably should change that around. In my opinion, just due to the fact that his side special is a lot better at killing. Although Pit has the arrows that you can aim a lot easier than Dark Pit's. Not that it really matters too much, but it is a bit of a buff. Just slightly in edge guarding, although Dark Pit can still edge guard pretty well with the arrows if you do know how to use them. I do like their down special. There's a trick you can do with their down special. If you use it to block like a forward smash, then you can actually punish people out of the breaking animation of your down special a lot faster than if you were to like shield it. And it's a bit safer to throw out as well, just because you don't have to worry about getting punished with a shield break if you shield in that scenario. And it also can push people away off stage without doing any damage to them, so it can be used to edge guard. Main issues are recovery, and then a lot of their multi-hits just don't work that well. I've had forward smash drop, I've had neutral air drop, forward air, up airs drop. Pretty much any move that's a multi-hit with Pit or Dark Pit will most likely have a, or there will be a situation where you're trying to hit your opponent with it and you have them in the move, but they will fall out of it, which is dropping. That's what I mean by that, in case you aren't aware. I've run into the same issue with some other characters as well, but it's a really big issue with them. Although they still have a lot going for them with like edge guarding and stuff, it's just that they have a lot of issues, or like bigger issues than them having good ability to edge guard. But yeah, next is going to be Cloud. Cloud kind of just bad. Neutral air is really slow and small. Up air is actually kind of decent, but it's not as good as it was in the previous game. So pretty much all of your aerials are kind of decent, except for like neutral air, and then maybe fair. I personally just don't like fair just due to the amount of lag it has on the ground, and there's just better options than fair in most situations. But there are a lot of people that like, or I've heard of people that do like Cloud's fair. And then you just have a really bad recovery if you don't have limit, and your limit can be camped out now. So that means that it could be a bit harder for you to kill, though Cloud actually has pretty solid kill options without limit, just because he's a decent character when it comes to killing, but pretty much everything else he's a lot, or not a lot, but just a bit below average. With Bayonetta, you have really good combos, you have a pretty solid recovery, also kill power behind your moves, although most of your kill moves are pretty slow. Combos don't kill, but they do get some percent if they connect properly. I have had a lot of issues with Bayonetta's combos dropping, and I don't mean just me doing the combo wrong, I mean I'll hit an up special and they'll fall out of the up special while I'm still in the animation. So, yeah, kind of the same issue with Pit and Dark Pit, where you'll try to do something and then it just won't work because the move will actually just drop in the middle of it. But they're still, or Bayonetta's still pretty good, in my opinion. Still has some use, but it's not the same as in Smash 4, which is a good thing for some people. I didn't really play Smash 4 that much. I never played against Bayo in Smash 4 because I only played about a month before Ultimate came out. I didn't play it that often either, so, or really that competitively. So yeah, I never really got to experience the Wrath of Bayonetta, so I can't say for sure. I would think that, or I can say for sure that she's a lot worse in this game, but don't know how people feel about that, I guess. But yeah, on to Marth. Marth's pretty low here. Just he can't really kill. Like, the thing about Marth is that he's not that bad if you can get tippers. Like, if you can get tippers, I can see Marth being like a high tier character like Lucina, but the tippers are really inconsistent. Like, the tipper hitbox is so small that you're pretty much just never going to hit it, no matter what you do. You don't really get that many combos out of the non-tipper hits, which is the thing about Roy and Chrom is that, or I guess just Roy, even though he has a sour spot on his sword, he can still combo into the sweet spot, or he could just get a lot of good damage off of sour spot combos as well. Whereas with Marth, you do have some combos, but they're not as great as someone like Roy. You're a lot slower as well, and then your recovery is pretty easily gimped. Unless you're recovering like directly underneath the stage, even though some characters can still edgeguard that pretty well, like Villager with his forward smash. It's just not that great compared to a lot of other recoveries, like Pikachu's or Joker, for example. Although it's still, in my opinion, not that bad. It's really good out of shield, but as just a recovery move in general, it's probably above average. So, yeah, that's Marth, and then on to Corrin. I think Marth and Corrin could probably swap places. I like Corrin a bit more. Corrin has a lot of good combos. You have pretty much all of your arrows being, or all of your aerials, not arrows, all of your aerials being able to combo into each other. Like, neutral air into, like, up air, for example, or up air into itself a few times, and maybe even getting an up special off of that. The thing is, Corrin kind of struggles to kill, like with Marth, although Corrin can kill a bit easier than Marth can, as you don't really have to rely on tippers as much as you do with Marth. Although Marth can still kill with edgeguards without tippers. The thing is, how are you going to knock someone off stage if your sour spots are not strong enough to do so, whereas with Corrin you don't really have to worry about sour spots as much, although there are some moves with sweet spots and sour spots. Next is going to be Donkey Kong. I've seen him in a lot higher places, but I think that he's not that great. His recovery is just a bit too bad, in my opinion, to save him. Like, as long as you knock him off the stage and he's about like one Donkey Kong beneath the stage, and he's not going to be able to recover. Although his buffs are actually not that bad. I think he could probably get a lot higher placements in the future. It's just that for now, I don't think that he's that great. You have a lot of moves just being a bit too slow, like you down special having a lot of lag. Neutral air got a lot better than what it was, but it still has a bit of lag. But definitely a lot better of a move. I think in the future Donkey Kong will be like maybe upper mid tier, or like bottom upper mid tier, or just like mid tier, somewhere around there. But for now I'm putting him in between Corrin and Doc. Personally, I think Doc is a pretty strong character. Not just because he's a lot stronger than Mario, but just because he has a lot of pill confirms. Main issues with Doc are speed and range, so you're going to struggle to approach a lot. And then the biggest issue is going to be recovery, as your down special does not regenerate after you've been knocked out of it. So what I mean by that is if you down special once, and then you're hit out of the down special off stage and you cannot down special again. Which is kind of an issue because that's the only way that Doc really gets any horizontal movement out of his recovery. Up special is really good out of shield though, even though it's not that great of a recovery move. And then you have like a lot of the stuff you can do with Mario, you can do with Doc. Like, yes, some combos, but they're not as great as someone like Mario. So he's definitely a lot worse than Mario in a lot of ways, but I still don't really think he's that bad, although he's still low tier. He could be in a lot worse of a position in this game, and a lot of people do think he's a lot worse. Like, a lot of people think he's down there. I think he's more in bottom tier than, or in low tier than bottom tier, but a lot of people think he's a bottom tier character, like bottom 5, bottom 10, somewhere around there. So yeah, next is going to be Villager. Villager, really good at zoning. You have the axe, you have slide special, really quickly, forward air, back air, which is kind of the same thing as Isabelle, but Main issue with Villager is just that your recovery is really exploitable, um, and then kind of struggling to kill if you can't get in on opponents, because a lot of Villager's kill moves are really short range. So if you're getting zoned out by someone as Villager, which you can kind of anti-zone using Pocket, but if you are getting zoned out, then it's going to be a bit harder for you to kill, just due to the fact that your opponent's going to be moving away from you whenever you need to be right next to them to be able to kill, which is a good thing about Axe, is that Axe can catch people off stage, so you'll have a chance to be like a lot closer to someone off stage, because if you're edge guarding them, they're going to have to be approaching you, so that can allow you to get Axe a bit easier than a lot of your other moves like forward smash or up smash. But it's still a bit of an issue for Villager to kill in general, although it does have a really good ability to zone. Next is going to be Bowser Jr. I think that Bowser Jr. has the potential to be a mid-tier character, but he's just not received that much use. I believe Tweak used Bowser Jr. a bit at the beginning of Ultimate. I know he used him in Smash 4 a bit, but yeah, you have up air combos that are really good. You have your down special, which can kind of force situations to where if people are trying to land, then they have to like up special to avoid it, or just put themselves in a roller position, and then you can punish. And then you also have just up special, being able to edge guard with that. Main issues with Bowser Jr. is kind of just speed, and then like landing lag on a bunch of moves. Neutral air is not that bad, but like forward air and back air and down air, for example, those are all moves that have a pretty good amount of landing lag, so they're very easily punished. And then just a lot of moves like forward smash and cannonball have really large windows for punish if they're whiffed, or sometimes even if they're not whiffed or just shielded, they're still pretty easy to punish. And then Bowser Jr.'s kill moves don't really have that much range except for Cannonball. If you count that as a kill move, it's just really slow, so it's just kind of easy to avoid. Like, I've been hit by Cannonball before, but it's still one of the easier projectiles to dodge, even if you're a character like Incineroar who's not that fast. Next is going to be Robin. I think that Robin probably has the highest chance out of low tier to move up in the tier list. Robin's Arc Fire is really good, kind of forces your opponent to not shield, because if they shield Arc Fire, then that's kind of just free punish, because if they let go of shield, then they get hit by Arc Fire and comboed, and then if they keep shield, then they get throw comboed, or they get down specialed, and then you get a bit of HP back. Really good ability to recover, really good like zoning tools in general, like neutral specials. All the different projectiles that you can perform with neutral special are really good. Up special being able to edge guard with that, because it does have a spike hitbox, or just the Levin Sword or even Bronze Sword can be used for edge guarding, although Levin Sword's a lot better at it. Yeah, that is the main issue with Robin, is that your moves don't last forever. If you keep using your aerials or your smash attacks with Levin Sword, then it's going to go away eventually, and then you're in a really vulnerable position, so you have to manage all of that pretty wisely. And then you also have a very slow movement speed, being the second slowest character in the game, if I remember correctly, on running speed. So yeah, you have that to worry about as well, so you can get, or people can just run away from you a lot, or people can approach you pretty easily as well. Now on to lower mid-tier. I have a lower and an upper mid-tier, in case you're wondering how mid-tier works. So this is going to be a lower mid-tier. First is going to be Mii Brawler at the bottom of lower mid-tier. I really don't know where to put Mii Brawler and Mii Sword Fighter. I know where to put Gunner, but with these two I put them at the bottom of lower mid-tier. They just don't really get that many results. Not that many people use them. I know personally that Mii Brawler has like really bad recovery options in most situations, except for like one up special being similar to Ike. I believe that probably the best recovery option that Mii Brawler has, but it's still not that great of a recovery. Mii Sword Fighter has a lot better options, but just hasn't gotten any results. Like, you have the kill confirm with the tornado into hero spin, but Nobody really uses nobody really uses me sword fighter or me brawler. It's mostly me gunners that I see online in tournaments. So just from experience, that's where I would put these two characters. Although they could be underrated or overrated, I'm not too sure on them. Next is going to be Incineroar. Incineroar is the slowest character in the game, but he actually has pretty good combo potential. A lot of the buffs that were given to him helped him a bit with like down air and down special buffs. Revenge is really good, as it triples his damage output if you're at max revenge. So if you slide special someone, instead of doing 25%, you do 75%, and it also boosts the knockback of the move to be able to kill at a much lower percent. And that works with any move. Neutral special is really good for breaking shields if people aren't aware that it can do that. Slide special is pretty useful when recovering as like a mix-up, because sometimes you can slide special recover, sometimes you can jump, and you can just confuse people with that, but your recovery and movement speed are going to be your main issues. And then a bit of range issues as well, but Incineroar has decent enough range. It's not as bad as a character like Dr. Mario, but it's still not that great. And then you also have the fact that you're heavy, so if you do get knocked off stage, you'll be pretty close to the stage because you are one of the heaviest characters in the game, but your recovery is still pretty bad. So it might not matter that much. Next is going to be Mewtwo. Mewtwo just hasn't really received that much use. I know that MKLeo has a Mewtwo, and has said that Mewtwo is pretty good. Mewtwo is one of the lightest characters in the game, and also has a lot of like hitbox issues just due to the fact that Tail has a massive hitbox on a lot of stuff, and just gets comboed very easily. And then if Mewtwo does get comboed, it's very easy to like 0 to death Mewtwo with the Ouija, for example, because he has famous grab 0 to death. Mewtwo's one of the easiest characters to perform that on. So I do like Mewtwo's slide special. I think that is a pretty interesting move that could be used in a lot of different ways in the future, but Mewtwo has pretty decent combo potential with neutral air, being able to drag down, like you can do down throw neutral air a few times into some stuff. Up tilt has combo potential, up air and back air have combo potential, but a lot of Mewtwo's good matchups work very well for Mewtwo, and a lot of Mewtwo's bad matchups work very bad for Mewtwo, so it's like a very polarizing character to play. Like, Mewtwo doesn't really have any, or Mewtwo has neutral matchups, but a lot of Mewtwo's matchups are bad, and then the ones that are good, Mewtwo does really good in, and the ones that Mewtwo does bad in, just not really worth it to even attempt to play Mewtwo in them. So, yeah, next is going to be Sheik. I think that Sheik is kind of a bit underrated, but not too much, as a lot of people put Sheik in like lower tiers. But Sheik lacks kill power, so you have to win neutral a lot to be able to get kills, but pretty easy for Sheik to do, as Sheik has a lot of safe moves. Pretty much every one of Sheik's moves are safe on shield, except like forward smash or just any of her smash attacks are not going to be that safe. But yeah, and then Sheik also has very good combo potential. You can do drag down up airs. Back air is pretty good at killing. You have needles to be able to interrupt people charging moves from across the stage, or just being able to interrupt people's approach and like mix up approach options. Like another issue with Sheik, you have like lightweight, so if you have low kill power, so if you try to kill someone at like 120%, you might have to wait until like 150 outside of like kill confirms with down special. But if you're trying to not just land a raw F smash to kill and trying to do something like back air, you might have to wait till like 150 to be able to do so against some heavyweights. And then you also have the fact that Sheik is one of the easier characters to kill due to her lightweight. And then some of Sheik's moves do drop if they're multi-hits, like I've had up air drop a few times, up smash has dropped a few times as well, but it's not too big of an issue compared to a lot of other characters. So yeah, and then another issue with Sheik is just damage output in general. Even if you do land a combo, which she can do pretty well, you're not going to be able to get that much percent on them, and you have to get your opponent to a really high percent to be able to kill them, so that's why I say you have to win neutral a lot to build up that damage. Next is going to be King K. Rool. He's been a character that I've put in like bottom and low tier for a while, but I'm starting to see more potential with this character. Has one of the best recoveries in the game. It's heavyweight, so it's going to be pretty hard to kill, and can live to a high percent pretty easily, although he's very easy to combo. He does have a lot of moves that can get him out of combos like neutral air, just because of its super armor, and like all of his moves with super armor are pretty strong. You have the fact that he has some actually decent projectiles, like Crown can be used to combo pretty well. Cannonball has its uses. The cannon itself, with its sucking ability, has its own use. So there are some options that King K. Rool has. King K. Rool did win a pretty large tournament in Australia, so yes, that going for him. He does have results, that's what I mean by that, so yeah, but main issues with King K. Rool is just going to be speed and hitbox size, as that's going to allow you to get comboed a lot. Next up is Piranha Plant, another character who I feel I underrated for a while. He has really good projectiles with Patui and the poison gas. Poison gas can force opponents to just get out of the area and can allow Piranha Plant to get a bit of stage control. Patui is really good for edge guarding. Poison gas is really good if you're knocked off stage. You can poison gas as Piranha Plant, or I like to do it at the beginning of a match as well. Just basically if somebody's camping you out on ledge, like, and they're holding a shield at ledge, you know, that type of edge guard, and they're just waiting for you to throw out an option because it's like one of the best positions to be in. If you're Piranha Plant, you can slide special, and then that can force them out of their shield, because if they stay in that area and they shield, their shield's most likely going to break. So that can just allow you to get back to stage pretty easily. Down special is really good at absorbing hits. Main issues with Piranha Plant are going to be that your recovery is pretty exploitable. It is pretty good recovery. I guess I could say that for King K. Rool as well, as they both have really strong recoveries. It's just that they're both kind of exploitable, as they don't protect them too well in certain areas. Like King K. Rool protects the top of him, but it doesn't protect the sides, and with Piranha Plant, it protects his sides, but it doesn't protect the top of him. So you can down air Piranha Plant pretty easily, and also down air King K. Rool with a few characters, but just depends on the size of the hitbox, or if it's like a disjoint or whatever. Like Mega Man can down air both of them pretty easily due to the fact that his down air hitbox is a projectile. But yeah, for Piranha Plant you also have pretty decent weight, so you're going to be able to live to decently high percent. Piranha Plant does have a few combos, although nothing too great. Piranha Plant mostly just is a really good zoner. Or not really good, probably like above average zoner. And you also have the fact that up smash out of shield kills very early and it's very fast, and then up throw is also a kill move, but it kills a little bit later than up smash out of shield. Up smash out of shield is probably like one of the best out of shield options in the game, so very good for a zoner to have that if they are getting shield pressured by rush down characters. Next is going to be Meta Knight. Meta Knight just hasn't really gotten any results, but I do think the character isn't that bad. You have really good recovery, really good combos, but a lot of your combos drop very easily, and they're very DI dependent. Like, you do have the ladder combo that can work, but it's DI dependent, and it also drops quite a bit, like, just depending on how the up air is hit. Up special has dropped out a lot for me, where I hit the first hit and then I go in for the second hit and it doesn't work, and then you're pretty much just dead after that because you immediately enter special fall and your opponent just gets a free forward smash or a combo on you. So not that great of a position to be in if you do have that happen to you. Meta Knight has really good edge guarding, but pretty bad range, average speed, and kind of bad kill power. Like, Meta Knight has really good kill power off stage, but on stage his kill power is lacking. I guess that's kind of the best way to put it for him. Next is going to be Falco. Falco, once again, just a character without results. I do think Falco will be a pretty strong character. Like, I think it's like my 1 year anniversary of Smash. I think I might have said the characters I think that are going to move up in the tier list a bit, and my characters were Falco and Captain Falcon. I think that both of these characters have a pretty good chance of moving up in the future, but for now, they're probably about the same as I put them in the last few tier lists, just mid-tier characters. Falco has really good recovery, you have really good combos, but you just have a really bad lack of kill power. Like, you have up tilt back air, or just back air in general to kill, and then your smash attacks if you can land them. But that's kind of the issue, is that you have to land the smash attacks to be able to kill, and then up tilt back air only works at certain percents. So you also have to worry about that. A lot of your combos will drop just due to the fact that forward air is not very consistent and neutral air is not very consistent for killing. And then I've had up smash drop a lot. Like, that's probably one of the worst multi-hits in the game, is Falco's up smash, and it's very slow out of shield as well. Like, compared to other characters out of shield options, it's not that great of one, and its hitbox is really weird, where it can hit tall characters sometimes, not very consistently, but it can hit them sometimes, and then short characters it pretty much just misses every time. So not that great. And then, like, you have neutral air is the other out of shield option that Falco has, and it's average if it connects all the hits properly. But yeah, then weaknesses for Falco is just pretty much multi-hits and kill power, as I said. With Captain Falcon, you have really good kill power, really good combos. You have a bit of hitbox issues with, like, up smash, being able to have people drop out of it a few times, but that's actually one of the better ones. It's not the best multi-hits. Like, if I saw characters from multi-hits, I could probably tell you which one has the best, but just off the top of my head, I can't think of the one with the best hitboxes, or probably Wii Fit, actually. Has the most consistent multi-hit hitboxes, but yeah, Captain Falcon, have a bit of that issue, and then you also have the recovery, but you are the second fastest character in the game playing as Falcon, so on stage you're going to be able to approach pretty much everyone for free. A lot of your hitboxes are very long. It's pretty much like he's got a sword, except he doesn't have a sword, it's just his limbs are very long. Like, back air has a pretty good hitbox, and it's also kill move. You can do, like, down air into back air for kills. You can also do down air fair for kills. As fair is a lot more powerful, but it's a lot less consistent because you have to sweet spot it to be able to kill with it. Although Sour Spot Fair can still combo, although it's a bit laggy. Up air combos, down air starts combos and can also finish few combos. But main issues with Falcon's going to be his recovery, and then he is midweight, so when he is knocked off stage, he can be escorted pretty easily, just due to the fact that he's going to be at a pretty light weight to be knocked off stage, and then if he's hit off stage, he pretty much just dies due to his recovery. Lucas' character, I don't see that often in tournaments or anything, so I don't think he has that great of results as far as I'm aware. He does have the Zaire combo, where he can just kind of do Zaire into itself, into other things as well, but yeah, he has that going for him. PK Fire with Lucas isn't that bad. It's not as good as Nessus, but pretty decent at just getting people away from you, and it also backs Lucas up as well, so if you perform it in the air, you'll fall away from your opponent, so it has that going for it. PK Freeze is a lot better than PK Flash in my opinion, though, and then his recovery is a lot better than Nessus at being able to recover, although being able to kill is a bit worse. And then it can also, with the electricity being a multi-hit, just have some advantages of being able to just interrupt people and then just doing a bit of damage to them if you hit them with it. But I'm not going to be able to kill the same way that Ness does. Like, in my opinion, it's just that Ness is just a better character in general compared to Lucas, so that's why Lucas doesn't do as well, just because most people that would play Lucas would just pick Ness instead. But he does have a bit of stuff that makes him unique, and I think that he could get a lot better. Like, I think he could be an upper mid-tier character. I think Falco and Falcon could be high tier at some point. That's what I mean by rising up with Lucas. I think he could be upper mid-tier eventually, but for now, just due to like results and stuff, I'm gonna put him in lower mid-tier, but second best character in lower mid-tier. Then for the final character of mid-tier, or lower mid-tier, it's going to be Wii Fit Trainer. Wii Fit Trainer is another character that doesn't really get that many results. have a lot of strong combos with Wii Fit Trainer. You have the deep breathing, being able to boost your combos, and being able to just boost your damage output and knockback in general. So you can kill easier, and it also heals you, although not by much. Wii Fit Trainer's Soccer Ball is really good for sniping off stage and just being able to confuse people with how the soccer ball works, because you can cancel it into different moves for different angles, and then you also have just being able to delay the hit of the soccer ball for a few different angles as well. And it also spikes. Wii Fit Trainer has a lot of strange hitboxes that if you don't play them too often, you might not know how they work, like forward air having a spike hitbox on the back, and then it having different properties on the soccer ball as well. Main issues with Wii Fit Trainer is just going to be exploitable recovery, and then some of the hitboxes are a bit hard to hit smaller characters with, like forward air, for example. Could be a bit of an issue, like if you're playing against like Pichu or Olimar. Yeah, now moving into upper mid tier. Gonna have Pichu and Olimar in this, but it's gonna be from Young Link to Bowser in upper mid tier. Upper mid tier is just characters that I think that are a bit better than these ones, but not good enough to be high or top tier characters. So yeah, starting off with Young Link. Young Link was the best Link for a long time, but then he became the worst pretty recently. Like, a lot of people have just been debating the Links for a while, and they've decided upon Young Link being the worst. Young Link probably takes, or I would say he takes probably the second most amount of skill to play. I think that the Breath of the Wild Link probably takes the most, just due to some of the stuff that you have to learn with Bomb. But with Young Link, you have to be very precise on your combos, and that's kind of the issue, is that those combos are really good for building up damage and kills, but the issue is that you have to be able to perform the combos consistently, be able to do it, and there's a lot of factors that play into being able to land the combos properly, like DI, and just, if you're playing online, then that's a whole other thing. But Young Link has pretty good zoning tools, just really poor kill power outside of kill combos, and then you have to be able to land the combos as well. And then a bit of multi-hit issue, but not that bad. One of the better multi-hit characters. Next is going to be Hero. Hero just hasn't gotten results. He's apparently broken, but he's also apparently not that great, just due to the luck factor of him. Magic Burst is really good. Sizzle and Sizz are probably the best down special moves in my opinion, just are outside of like the bounce and all the buffing moves, but just for moves that do damage, I would say that Sizzle and Sizz are pretty good, just due to the fact that they're really fast, like near unreactable moves that cover a very large portion of the stage and do a lot of damage. Like Sizzle kills very easily as well. But downside of Hero is just the luck factor. Again, if you have bad luck, then that's going to be a thing. And then slow movement speed, slow aerial speed, or kind of just average unless you have Accelerator. But slow aerial speed for sure, even with Accelerator, it's not as great as Shulk with Speed Art, for example. But another issue with Hero is just the ending lag on a lot of his moves. Oh, wait, look, a lot of Hero's moves like neutral air and back air, forward air have pretty good amount of landing lag. And then pretty much all of his like non-tilt moves have decent landing lag, except up air maybe. But now on to Ganondorf. Ganondorf's kind of been a beta character. I do think he's a bit better than Falcon, which is why he's here. I honestly don't know if he's better than Hero or not. I think he's better than Hero with bad luck, or like average luck, but against Hero with good luck, I would say Hero with good luck is probably about where Banjo is. Like if you get the right move in every scenario, it's still not a 100% victory, but with Ganondorf, he's just a lot more consistent than Hero. You have some decent combos, bad recovery, but it's not as bad as what people think it would be, especially if you're trying to, or if you're getting edgeguard by someone, because then you can grab off of them and then recover. Naira was able to reverse 3-0 like Fox with Ganondorf, but that's also some of the top players, so it's not going to be like an average Ganondorf that you see online playing him. But Ganondorf has very strong kill power. He's got a lot of range on his moves. He actually doesn't have that bad of landing lag on aerials. At least some of them, like forward air and down air, are pretty bad, but compared to what they could be, like neutral air and back air, for example, are pretty fast. Up air is very fast, but and it's also very good off stage because it can just be a way to get people away from you off stage, so that way you aren't edge guarded because it has a lot of range and it comes out very quickly. But yeah, the main issues for Ganondorf are going to be just speed and recovery. Though you are pretty heavy, so you can live at pretty high percents. So that's one of the advantages of being slow. With Ridley, you have large hitboxes that are going to be comboed a lot. But you get the advantage of having a lot of range on your moves, like down special, having a lot of range, forward tilt. Pretty much all of your aerials and stuff have pretty good amount of range with decent landing lag at best. You have a pretty average recovery, I would say, with Ridley. It's one of the better average recoveries, for sure, but it's still very exploitable, as you have multiple jumps where you're just open to be hit, and it's very easy to edgeguard Ridley due to his large hitbox. He is a heavy character, not like a super heavyweight character or anything, but he's still pretty heavy, so he has that going for him. He has decent kill power. He has some players getting decent results, nothing too great. It's not like a top tier character or anything, but yeah. I can't really think of any Ridley players off the top of my head, but I know that he has gotten some results. But yeah, main issues with Ridley are going to be just being comboed, because it's very easy to combo Ridley due to him having the largest hitbox in the game, and then just him not being able to live as high of percent as other heavyweight characters, or as other large hitbox characters due to his heavyweight, not super heavyweight. Next is going to be Ryu. I think I might be underrating Ryu a bit. Ryu has some decent combo potential, just like Ken. Like, him and Ken aren't that different, but it's just the issues with him make it a pretty big difference, which are speed, and then you have like side special being single hit instead of multi-hit, so it's very easy to punish side special if you use it on someone's shield, if it gets parried. But his fire Hadouken is what I call it because I don't know how to pronounce it, but the command input move that Ryu has is really good for shield pressure. Ryu in general has very good shield pressuring ability, while lacking a bit of neutral strength, so that's what makes him not as great as Ken, in my opinion, and then kind of below average recovery, in my opinion, for both Ken and Ryu, just because side special is really exploitable, and then sure, you might not grab ledge if you recover too low, although it's not too big of an issue. You can also hit underneath the ledge. Next is going to be Simon and Richter. With Simon and Richter, you have a lot of range with the whip, you have projectiles, you have actually pretty good kill power. I don't think Simon and Richter should be as high as I put them, personally, but I've been seeing them put higher and higher on tier list as of late. I don't think that they're bottom tier characters or anything, I just think that they're low mid-tier characters just due to the fact that their recovery is as bad as it is, although the aerials being able to grab the ledge does help them out a bit. It's just that their projectiles are some of the strongest in the game, and also just being able to combo off of them outside of them just being really strong for killing is a pretty good thing, and then forward tilt being very fast and having a lot of range. It's arguably the best forward tilt in the game. Some people would disagree, but I would say it's probably the best. Like, I saw this one video of a character someone was making that had the best moves of every character, and they voted it as the best. So, yeah, it's very fast, and it's able to trade with projectiles, because it's disjointed stuff, so... Yeah, not too bad of characters, but I just don't think they're as great as what a lot of people are saying. I'm still just going to put them here, as I know if I put them any lower, people would probably say I was underrating them. Next up is going to be... I was a character that fallen off a lot, mainly because Leo was someone using him, so people thought he was a lot better than he was. Yeah, you have a lot of stuff with neutral air, which is kind of a meme. Just the fact that neutral air is move that Ike uses very commonly, but that's just because it can combo into itself, into back air, into forward air, into up air. And it has a lot of range and it's pretty safe to use. Main issues with Ike are going to be speed and recovery. Sorry about that, but it's going to be speed and recovery. That's kind of going to be an issue that you will notice with a lot of the characters around Ike is going to be that. Either one of those two issues. But Ike does actually kind of make up for it with kill power and combo potential. But a lot of its moves are a bit laggy. Like forward smash, for example, you can really tell whenever he's about to forward smash because of the startup that it has, and it actually has a lot of end lag as well. A character I can think of that's kind of has a better forward smash, but very similar, is King Dedede. King Dedede has a lot of startup on his forward smash, but he has a very small amount of end lag, so if you play Ike a lot and you see Dedede's forward smash, you might be a bit confused by that, but yeah, it's still not that great, but the other smashes are pretty okay, and then Ike's out of shield could be better, but it's kind of just an average out of shield. If you're pressuring him from a pretty safe distance at shield, then if he tries to throw out an aerial, then you can punish pretty well. Next up is going to be Zelda. Zelda was a character I might have underrated a bit, I don't know. I've been seeing Zelda move up in a lot of tier lists. I know Mewtwo King put Zelda in high tier, I think, actually. But I think, just for now, I'm going to put her in high, or upper mid tier just to be safe. This is upper mid tier, so yeah. We're just going to put her in upper mid tier just to be safe. You have some pretty good kills with, like, up special and smash attacks in general. You have the Knight to be able to zone. Main issue with Zelda is just going to be speed, and then if people do get in, then Zelda's going to crumble very easily, kind of like the Knight if you hit Zelda. But yeah, that's kind of just her main issue, is that if you do get in and you have a decent amount, or you don't even need a decent amount of range, you just need a decent combo potential, then you're going to be able to get a lot of damage off of Zelda. Especially if you can, like, read how she's going to zone you out, because a lot of her ability to zone is very telegraphed. Like, you can tell where the Knight's going to go. The only thing that she has mix-up potential-wise with the Knight is if she delays it or not, which most time Zelda's might not delay it, but if they do delay it, that means they're going to try to combo you, so you can tell off of that. And then if they don't delay it, it's pretty reactable. So, yeah, and then if you just jump out of the way most of the time, you can get in for free anyways. There is one option that Zelda has if you do jump, but if you're already past that stage of the Knight, then it's not going to work. Next up is going to be Rosalina and Luma. These are another character, or this is another character I thought was a lot lower than what they might be. Neutral air has a ton of range for some reason. Like, if you've ever played against Rosalina and Luma using neutral air a lot, you probably know what I'm referring to. It's pretty hard to punish just in general unless you have a disjoint or a projectile. You're not really going to be able to approach them if they're doing it. Luma being able to hit you from pretty far away is nice. Then kind of send Luma out to control some stage. Rosalina is weakened without Luma quite a bit, just due to the fact that whenever Rose is starting to get hit, she is a pretty lightweight character, so she's going to be able to die pretty easily and has a very large hitbox, so have the combo potential to be able to combo her pretty easily. But with Luma, she's able to protect herself a bit more, and then if you hit Rosalina and Luma stays behind, then you can get a free punish off of that. But yeah, main issue with Rosalina and Luma is going to be weight, and then if you lose Luma, you might be in a bit of a situation. But it's not like if you lose Nana with Popo, because Luma will actually return. But yeah, next is going to be Olimar. Olimar is a character that fell off a lot after his nerf. I've been seeing him still put in like top and high tier. I personally don't think he is. While he still has a pretty good zoning ability and pretty good kill power, his recovery is just still a bit bad. It actually got worse, but not too worse compared to what it was. But it's still very exploitable, so if you knock him off stage, then you can punish pretty easily, and you can get in past a lot of his zoning very easily as well. If you played against a decent amount of Olimars, then you'll probably know how to get through their zoning pretty easily, or if you just know what the pigmen do, and like what kind of setups they're going to do. Like, if they have a bunch of blue pigmen, that means that they're probably going to start trying to grab you. If they have yellow pigmen, that means they're going to be trying to space you out. And then if I have purple, they're going for a kill. With Pichu, kind of same thing after the Pichu nerfs. Pichu fell off a bit. Pichu being the lightest character in the game means that you're going to be able to die very early, and you also damage yourself with a lot of your attacks. So you have that going against you if you're at a disadvantage. Then, as you're trying to get to advantage, you're going to be putting yourself further behind percent-wise, just due to the fact that a lot of your moves that get you out of disadvantage damage yourself. Although there are options to get out without damaging yourself. And then another issue being range, because Pichu's the smallest character in the game. You have that going against you just because you don't have that large of hitbox. But you do have really good combo potential and really good kill power. So, you still have that from Pichu, but you just don't have the weight, and you also have the fact that you damage yourself. Luigi, I really don't know where to put Luigi. I know he's in this tier, but I don't know if he's any higher or lower than this, so I put him here. You have the 0 to death, but that comes at the cost of having a pretty bad recovery and being able to get 0 to death just off of that alone, unless you get a misfire. In which case, you might 0 to death your opponent just with a misfire because they might not expect it. Yeah, it just depends on your luck with Luigi there. Up special being able to kill is really good, as it allows you to have an out-of-shield option that can kill. Even the aerial form of up special has some kill power, and it has a pretty good amount of damage output, but it's not the same as the grounded up special. Fireball's not that great though, so you're not really going to be able to zone. You're going to be a lot more of a rush down character. The main strength of Luigi, I would say, is his down special. Down special has a really strange win box, where the down special will just kind of gimp you at ledge no matter which character you're using. Like, I don't know if you've seen the video of it, but it works on pretty much every character except for, like, Hero Zoom. So if you're trying to get to the ledge and Luigi just down specials at a certain spot on the ledge, and he just gimps everyone for free, and can still make it backstage. And then down special has invincibility in the air, and has just a lot of good damage output and kill power, and can be comboed out of down throw. Next is going to be King Dedede. I think King Dedede is kind of an underrated character. He's usually been in about lower, like kind of mid tier actually. I would say it's somewhere around like Young Link and Wii Fit Trainer. King Dedede's hammer has a really good amount of range for the amount of power it does, or like damage it does, so you can kill with it pretty easily. You can just get damage off of it, or damage with it in general, very easily without having to worry too much about the consequences. King Dedede has a lot of lag on moves like back air and like down smash and up smash, but a lot of King Dedede's moves don't have as much lag as they would seem. Like neutral air has pretty much no lag. Forward smash has sort of lag, but it doesn't have any ending lag really. The main issue you have to worry about with King Dedede is just your aerial and ground speed, and then the fact that up special has a lot of in lag to it. So if you land on stage with a move and not at the ledge, you're going to be punished pretty easily. Though it does have super armor and it can protect you. So it can protect you if somebody's trying to hit you on the ground and then you land on top of them or within a few feet of them. You can hit them with the stars on the side of you to be able to recover kind of safely. But if you actually cancel the move, it's a bit worse. Like if you cancel the hit of the move, it's a bit better, but you don't get the protection that you would if you didn't cancel the move. So kind of depends on the character you're playing against. Like if you're playing against Simon and Richter, canceling the move might be a bit better. In certain scenarios, if you're landing behind them, it would be better, but if you're landing in front of them, then it might be better to go for the non-cancelled version just in case you hit them. And you also have the fact that it has super armor as well. Next up is going to be Samus and Dark Samus. These characters have been doing really well as of late. You have Quick as probably the most notable Samus player who's been doing really well with the character. I was watching a tournament the other day, it was like around the time of Thanksgiving, that had a Quick in it. They were doing really well, and then I watched another tournament a bit more recently, and Quick was doing well in that. So yeah, you have quick doing some stuff with Samus. Samus and Dark Samus have virtually no differences, which is why I've put them together like this. If the characters have very little to no differences, I'll put them together kind of like I did with Slime and Richter. I didn't mention that. But with Ken and Ryu and Martha Lucina, they have pretty big differences, so it's going to be a bit more noticeable comparing the characters. Or it's going to be like a bit harder to compare the characters due to their differences. Yeah, bad things about Samus and Dark Samus are going to be just a bit of hitbox issues with pretty much everything but up air with Samus that's a multi-hit. So like up tilt, up smash, forward air, those are up special, those all have pretty bad dropout rates. Like I know up smash and forward air specifically have very bad rates, but up tilt and up special not as bad, but they've still dropped out for me a lot when I'm playing the characters. Have very good projectiles in the missiles and the charge shot. The charge shot at different points for a mix-up. Fired at different points for mix-up, so you can fire it if it's not charged at all, or if it's been fully charged, or if it's been like a quarter of the way charged. Just depends on the scenario. And then they have a lot of mix-up in the recovery and landing due to down special, because they can stall with down special pretty well. And then they also have Zair, and they can jump, and they can also up special to be able to recover, so they have a lot of options for a mix-up. But main issues are going to be speed, the dropout, and also kill power. It's a bit lacking with the non-projectile moves. Like the kill power, forward smash is good, but it's pretty slow. Up smash is kind of decent if someone's landing on you, but it can drop out, and it actually doesn't have that bad of landing lag. And then down smash isn't really that great of a move, but those are just some of the examples. With Mii Gunner's been placed a lot higher than what I've normally placed Mii Gunner. Mii Gunner is pretty slow, has actually some decent combos. If you've been watching my CPU tournaments recently that I've been doing on Twitch and YouTube, then you've seen Sans on there, and he actually can do some kind of good combos out of like neutral air into dash attack, or neutral air into a few other things. So you have that going for Mii Gunner. If you just want an example of combos, I mean, you can watch that. But Mii Gunner's, pretty much all of Mii Gunner's moves are really good for just edge guarding and ledge trapping. You have the bomb, that's kind of similar to Samus's. You have the move that's similar to Holy Water. You have Charge Shot, that's kind of like Samus's as well. You have really good recovery potential. You have like up air that can drag down into like a few different moves. Forward smash has a ton of range and it's pretty safe if you're throwing it out and someone's like not behind you, or if somebody if somebody's trying to shield the move, or somebody's on the other side of the move, a pretty good distance away from you is kind of safe to throw out compared to a lot of other characters' forward smashes. But main issue is going to be just speed, and then it's kind of hard for Mii Gunner to get out of disadvantage if they are placed in disadvantage. But moving on to Toon Link. Toon Link is, in my opinion, the second best Link. I've seen people that have said he's the best, but the thing about Toon Link is that he has enough kill power to be able to kill consistently, and he's got decent enough projectiles to be able to range, or to zone consistently. So it's kind of just the middle grounds of Link and Young Link. You have Young Link who can zone really well but can't kill, and then you have Link who can zone decently but can kill consistently. So yeah, you have that. And then you also just have kind of decent combos with like neutral air and bomb. The arrows, in my opinion, are probably the worst of the Links, but they aren't that bad of a projectile. They're just not, in my opinion, that useful compared to the other two arrows. But issues with Toon Link's are going to be recovery and then range, because Toon Link's sword isn't really that long compared to someone like Hero or Marth. So it is a disjoint, but it's just not disjointed enough compared to them. And then you have the fact that he's a midweight, and then you also have a bit of issues with landing lag with a few moves like down air. or just landing in general. But moving on, next is going to be Banjo and Kazooie. These characters are kind of underused at the moment. I think that they have some potential, but nobody's really using them because they're not that interesting to play, I think. I'd always joked about them being like low tiers whenever they released, just to make people that wanted Banjo and Kazooie and Smash mad. Like Nintendo would do that just to make them mad, but instead they just made them kind of a bit uninteresting to play. Pretty much just have grenade, like you just grenade people constantly, or if you play a more rush-on focused Banjo, then like you do some neutral layers and stuff. Banjo and Kazooie don't really have that much combo potential, but they do have a lot of good kill power. You have the Wonder Wing being able to go through moves due to its invincibility. Although it can still be grabbed, so you have that, and then you also have a limited number of uses on it. Unless you die, and then you get it back, but they have one of the best recoveries in the game with a lot of good mix-up potential. One of the few characters that can jump out of their up special, so they have that going for them as well. That can allow for a lot of mix-ups, so they can like up special, they can jump a few times, and they can side special. They can also hold a grenade during that and be able to reset the up special. They can side special multiple times during their recovery. They can delay their jumps. They still have an air dodge as well, so they've got a lot of good stuff there. But main issue is going to just be the fact that their disadvantage isn't that great. And then if they lose feathers, then they can kind of struggle to kill just due to the fact that a lot of their kill moves don't have that much range. Although the good thing about the golden feathers is that you can kill people off stage. Kind of like with Villager's Axe, it's pretty much like if you have a forward smash in the air, except it's a bit fast as well. So it's a bit better than a lot of characters' forward smashes like Ganondorf's or Ike's forward smash, for example. But yeah, main issue is just going to be disadvantage. Although they are kind of heavy, they have the same weight value as Snake and Rob, so and they pretty much have the same up tilt as Snake, although I believe it does have a bit less skill power, but it still can kill. And then they also have grenades, so I always kind of think that they kind of just copied some of the stuff from Snake with Banjo, but differentiated him enough to make it feel like he was his own character. Yeah, moving on is going to be Bowser. Bowser is one of the best heavies in the game. He is the heaviest character in the game. He has really good combo potential. He has a decent recovery. It's not that great of a recovery because it can still be edge guarded pretty easily, but it's not that bad compared to how it was in previous games. He just has a ton of range on moves. Like, you wouldn't think that Bowser would have that much range due to the fact that he doesn't have, like, a sword or anything, but, like, back air has a pretty good amount of range. Neutral air has a really good amount of range and can combo into back air or forward air. He doesn't really have that much landing lag on moves, and he's actually pretty fast. Like, I believe he's the 19th fastest character in the game with running speed. So, he's definitely a pretty threatening character to deal with, just due to the fact that he can approach very easily for a heavy. He doesn't have the fastest running speed out of the heavies, I believe. That would be Charizard that has the fastest running speed out of the super heavyweights, but he still has a pretty good running speed. Or just movement speed in general. Yeah, main issue is just going to be the fact that he gets comboed a lot and his recovery. But yeah, now moving on to high tier. These are characters right below top tier. Top tier is going to be my next one, so you can see which characters are in that now. Due to the fact that there are some characters still have yet to be shown. At the bottom of high tier is going to be Diddy Kong. I think I might be overrating Diddy Kong a bit. Like, Diddy Kong still hasn't really got that many results after the buff. Not that many people have played Diddy Kong afterwards either. Like, a lot of people that made Diddy Kong at the beginning of Ultimate and then dropped him because he wasn't that good haven't really returned to Diddy Kong just because there are a bit better characters to play. He does have an infinite with the banana, so I guess that's why I probably put him in high, because I did make this a few days ago and I've just been altering it a bit over time. But yeah, he does have an infinite using the bananas and a platform. He has a pretty good recovery now. He has pretty fast out of shield options, or just options in general. He has down tilt that can poke and combo and stuff, but main issue is just going to be kill power, and then kill setups with banana. might be a bit easy to read. Though he does have other options, like he can do down tilt into up smash, for example, to be able to kill. But it's still not that great. It's nothing compared to how he was in Smash 4. But yeah, now on to Yoshi. Yoshi has really good aerials, really good combos and stuff like that. He has pretty good kill power. Main issue with Yoshi is just range. He gets outranged by a lot of the projectile characters and sword users. And then his recovery is pretty exploitable too. He does have the super armor on his second jump, but after he gets hit out of that second jump, he's pretty much just dead because the eggs aren't going to be enough to save him most of the time. But he does have a lot of good mix-up potential with his recovery using the eggs, because the eggs allow him to glide. And then he can do, he can egg and then jump, and then egg again and then jump to be able to get the most out of his recovery. So, he can sometimes choose to egg once and then jump twice, or he can choose not to egg at all. He can recover high and then choose to egg out on his way down, because it allows him to change his movement speed a bit. And then he also has the fastest aerial movement speed in the game, so he's just able to move around the stage in the air pretty easily and can edge guard very well because of that. But yeah, main issue is just the lack of range. Next up is going to be Ice Climbers. I put them here. I think this is probably a bit too high, but this is just where I think their potential is going to be by the end of 6.1. And then after the next update, when they add the next character, I'll probably put a more accurate placement, but this is where I think it's going to be until the end of this update. They have a lot of desyncs. Main issues, I guess I can get that out of the way first. Main issues is just range. Like, forward smash is really bad if you've even seen that. Like, it looks like it should hit people in a lot of scenarios, but it just doesn't. Like, the hammer actually goes through people's hitboxes. Like, if you're just standing still as, like, Dr. Mario, for example, and then you, like, space, or you think that you space the forward smash really well, it can actually just go through his foot. And then you also have the fact that whenever Nana's gone, Popo's kind of just dead. There is a bit of stuff you can do with Sopo, but it's not that great. He's much better with Nana because of the desyncs and also just general damage output. Like, even without desyncs, Ice Climbers have a very good damage output. Through juggling, they can do down throw into up air twice, and that can get you like 30% just off of that. It's not like Yoshi's down air, which does a pretty ridiculous amount of damage, although you have to land all the hits for it. But it's still a pretty good option to do without desyncs. With desyncs, Ice Climbers can 0 to death, they can ledge trap, they can just get good combos, they can get kill confirms, like they can do a grab into a forward smash or up smash. I've actually been practicing Ice Climber desync myself because I've been interested in the character for a bit and have been able to kind of desync. I'm not that great at it yet. I still have a lot of room for improvement, but I've been able to get like 50 to 70% off of one desync, which I initiate through a spot dodge. So, yeah, as long as you can just spot dodge someone, you can pretty much just get a free 70% off of them at the beginning of the game, which isn't that bad. Yeah, the issue with desyncs is that you have to be able to set up the desyncs. There are multiple ways. I believe the best way to set up for desyncs is to do one where you do it through the landing lag of aerials, although I don't really know how it works that well. I can't perform it myself. And then you also have a desync that can be performed by dashing back and then dashing back in. With Ice Climbers, like, there are multiple ways to set up for desyncs, and some are better than others, but you just have to know, as the opponent, what type of setup they're going for with desyncs. Sorry, you have to know that whenever you're playing against them. But yeah. Next character is going to be Sonic. Ken's been doing pretty well with Sonic. He's probably like the best Sonic player in the world if I had to guess, because he's the only one that I've heard of really, although he was actually defeated pretty recently by a Donkey Kong, which I did forget to mention that. I meant to when I was talking about Donkey Kong. But yeah, Sonic has pretty good combo potential. Um, he has pretty good just damage output in general. Um, very fast character in the game, obviously, and has very little landing lag on moves, is what I meant by very fast initially, but just in movement speed, he is the fastest character on the ground. Um, up throw has pretty good combo potential up air. Main issue with Sonic is that, or at least in my opinion, it's the fact that a lot of his multi-hit moves will drop, like side special drops, down special drops, up air drops. Like, Sonic has probably the worst, if not the second worst. I would say it's between Sonic and Pit and Dark Pit that have the worst multi-hits in the game. Just due to the fact that whenever you want them to work, that's when they're not going to work, and when you're just like, okay, let me just get an up throw up air here to be able to build up a bit of damage, that's when it's going to work perfectly. But whenever you're trying to up air someone, like when you're trying to do up throw up air into up special up air, it's gonna drop on the second up air, and then you're just gonna up special and be put into disadvantage instantly. But yeah, Sonic has a very good recovery. I did forget to mention that. But outside of the multi-hits, another disadvantage is just going to be lack of range, although he makes up for it with speed, in my opinion. But still going to be outranged by sword characters. Next is going to be Pac-Man. I've seen Pac-Man placed a lot higher. I don't really know why. Pac-Man is a really good zoner, but if you see through his setups, then it's not really that great, as he does have a lot of them, but a lot of them you can tell what's going on just because of how long the setups take, like with Hydrant and fruits and stuff. You have up special at ledge, which you can just get around by dropping from ledge and jumping, or you can try to drop from ledge and then jump into the trampoline to bait option and then punish. But yeah, with Pac-Man you have to watch out for the setups. There are some of them that are a bit harder to identify than others, but most of the time you're going to be able to see them if you're just experienced in the matchup. Pac-Man actually has really good combo potential without the fruits using Fair, and then with the fruits using Fair as well, but also with like Galaga and, or not Galaga, Galaxian and the Bell being able to combo off of them. You have pretty good edge guarding with fruits and Hydrant, really good kill power, just a lack of range, and then kind of just average speed. Really good recovery though, although it's a bit kind of predictable where you're going to go, so you can be edge guarded somewhat, although it's pretty difficult to edge guard Pac-Man. You can actually do it if you have projectiles, for example. It makes it a bit easier, or just disjoint in general. Off stage, going to be able to allow you to perform or be able to edge guard Pac-Man pretty easily. Next up is going to be Ken and Terry. I'm tiering them together because I don't really know which one's better than the other one. They both have their strengths and weaknesses. Terry's weakness is going to be speed, whereas he has very good kill power. Ken has a bit less kill power, but he still has pretty good kill power. But he's a lot faster, so his neutral is a bit better than Terry in my opinion. Terry has a better recovery than Ken as well. But Ken has like jab, up special. He has like down tilt to be able to shield pressure, down tilt, up tilt, both of which lead into combos. The main issue with Terry, as I said, was just his neutral. It's a lot worse than, or not a lot worse, but it's just worse than Ken's. So that's what holds him back from being good as Ken, in my opinion. But I mean, honestly, I think that the two could be interchanged, just because of Terry's go allows him to be able to edge guard pretty well, compared to Ken, although Ken doesn't really have that bad of edge guarding either. It's like Ken is slightly worse at the things that Terry is good at, and then Terry is worse in neutral, so that just makes Ken better, because if, like, none of that really matters if you can't win neutral, except for, like, the go meter stuff, because you have to lose neutral to be able to get go meter most of the time, just because you have to be at 100% to be able to get it. But yeah, both characters have a pretty, like, not really bad, just below average recovery. I would say Terry's is better, but both are exploitable pretty easily by characters with a decent ability to edge guard. Next up is Ness. think Ness might be a bit lower than this, but I'm not too sure. Ness is one of the, or probably like the only character who can pretty much just beat Pichu consistently, or not Pichu, Pikachu, which makes him pretty good, in my opinion, just due to the fact that Pichu pretty much has like no losing matchups outside of like Ness. Or maybe not even losing, but it might be average, but I mean it's one of Pichu's worst matchups, for sure, if not his worst. Ness has decent recovery, really good edge guarding, really good neutral shield pressure stuff, with neutral air, back air is really good for killing, up smash, down smash, forward smash, all really good for killing, PK fire, being able to get combos at lower percents, PK Thunder being used for edge guarding or just hitting people on the top of the stage with juggles. PK Flash has its uses, but it's still not as useful as something like PK Freeze, in my opinion. And then he has the Yo-Yo at ledge as well, to be able to edge guard people that are staying on ledge. Next is going to be Mario. Mario has really good combos, he has a pretty good recovery, he has decent approaching ability, but his main issue is just going to be his range and then a bit of kill power. Although his kill power is not that bad, I can kind of, or at least whenever I play Mario, I've kind of struggled to kill characters with like disjoints or projectiles, just due to the fact that you have to be able to approach them and stuff, and then if you don't approach them, then you have literally like no kill power at all, like unless you can land back air as you're edge guarding them, which in my opinion is kind of a different thing from approaching. But forward air has combo potential, up air has combo potential, neutral air, down tilt, up smash, back air has combo potential as well. So you have a lot of good combos. I don't think Mario's top tier. I've seen some people say that he's like low top tier. I think he's high tier. Like I think this is probably the best spot to put Mario on this list, but I don't think he's a bad character or anything. I just don't think he's as good as what a lot of people have been saying that he is. He does have some pretty good results though in tournaments. Next up is going to be Roy and Chrom. Both of these characters are pretty fast, have really good shield pressure, really good edge guarding, but pretty below average recoveries. Chrom not having any horizontal movement on his recovery, and Roy lacking both vertical and horizontal in my opinion. But it's not that bad really. One of the biggest advantages to Chrom is the fact that you don't have to worry about the sweet spot on the hilt of Roy's sword. With Chrom, you have the consistent hitbox throughout, but that comes at a cost of being able to kill a bit less, a bit later than Roy does. Like, Roy kills pretty early in some situations, like with forward smash, it kills pretty early, but Chrom also kills fairly quickly with forward smash as well, so it's not that big of a difference between the two. I personally think Chrom is better, but I have seen some people that have said Roy is better, and I do understand their arguments and stuff, but I just think that Chrom is just slightly better in general, due to the fact that you don't really have to worry about sour spotting moves. And you don't really lose that much kill power, as it's not like with Marth and Lucina where you lose a pretty good amount of kill power. It's not that big of a difference between the two. Like, if you get hit by a forward smash by Chrom, it's still going to be able to send you pretty far off stage, even if it doesn't kill. Next is Game & Watch, a character I used to put in like bottom tier every time because I really didn't understand the character. But the character's been doing really well as of late. He has really good combos with like neutral air, he can juggle pretty well with up air. You have Judge being able to kill really early. Not a one-hit KO technically, in my opinion, due to the fact that it doesn't kill at 0. Kind of like with Little Mac's KO Punch, but it will kill at like 10%, so it's not that big of a difference. Up special out of shield is probably the best thing about Game & Watch, just up special in general, is it does have a lot of combo potential to it. It's very fast, it kills, it gets through moves like Mega Man's down air, for example. Like if you try to down air Mr. Game & Watch with Mega Man, if the up special is ascending, as you're trying to hit him, it will armor through it. Or I guess just trade through it, I don't really know. But it will just go through it, and then you can get a free punish off of it. And I'm comparing a lot of stuff to Mega Man because I made the character, by the way, in case you're wondering. But, yeah, you have Bucket to deal with projectile characters. Main issue with Game & Watch is just weight and speed, as he's not that fast of a character, he's kind of average speed, and then his weight is pretty light. Like, he's not a featherweight or anything, but he's one of the lighter characters in the game, due to him being 2D, so he's very flat. Next up is going to be Rob. Rob, one of the best owners in the game. You have the Gyromite, which I usually refer to as the Beyblade. Rob has a lot of spinning moves. You have like up air, you have neutral air, side special, down smash, down special spins, the little Gyromite. But yeah, because of that, a lot of them have multi-hit properties and will drop. I've never encountered down smash dropping, but I've encountered up smash dropping, up air dropping, and side special dropping, although up smash and side special are kind of rare, whereas with up air it has dropped a bit more frequently, but it's still pretty rare. Like, it's not that bad, but it is pretty noticeable, the amount of time that happens, so it's just a multi-hit thing. But he has really good kill power, really good neutral, with like neutral air being able to pretty much just get everyone away from you very quickly, and then has a very large hitbox. That's just because of Rob's large size, which is his main issue. He's going to get comboed a lot, although he doesn't have that bad of a disadvantage due to his up special, down air, and back air, all being able to move him around in the air, allowing for a lot of mix-up potential. Oof, my throat hurt there. I need to take a drink of water really quickly, and then I'll be back in a second. So, yeah, you have a lot of mix-up potential when recovering, have a lot of kind of decent combos with like neutral air into dash attack, if I remember correctly. That works, although that might be me confusing that with Mii Counter. But yeah, you have stuff with down air, you have stuff with down throw, like down throw into up smash or up air, depending on the percent. As a kill confirm, you have neutral special and down special for projectiles. Down special allows you to get stage control pretty easily, as it forces opponents to enter a situation where they either have to jump, roll through, or jump air dodge, jump up special. They have a few options of mix-up, but Rob can sit back and counter all of them, or they can just sit behind the Gyromite as well, and not really be affected by it. So it can kind of just allow Rob to get stage control pretty easily, or just lead into combos or kills. And it's also really useful for edge guarding as well. And then Z-Drop Gyromite has a slow descent, so it's able to combo pretty easily if it does land. Next up is going to be Duck Hunt. It was Raito, I believe, who top 8'd Evo using Duck Hunt. I believe he is a solo Duck Hunt main, so he's been using the character since Smash 4. He's probably the most famous Duck Hunt. It's very good Duck Hunt as well. Duck Hunt's a very good character, with a lot of mix-up potential using Can. You have Slide Special being able to combo into itself a few times at certain percents. You just have combo potential off of throws. Decent out of shields, decent poking tools with like down tilt, and you have pretty good kill power with Can and with the gunmen with your smash attacks. Back air, for example, is a pretty strong kill move as well. Down air being able to spike. But main issues with Duck Hunt is that is that whenever he's approached, he's pretty exploitable, and then his recovery is also very exploitable as well. Next up is going to be Greninja. Greninja I used to rate him a bit higher, but I think he's fallen off. Schroeder hasn't really been doing much with Greninja over the past few months, from what I've heard. Compared to earlier this year, he did really well with Greninja, but I think Greninja's kind of fallen off after that. He does have a lot of good combos. One of the worst out of shields, not the worst, but like one of the bad out of shield characters. He has a lot of good anti-air options with like forward air and back air. Really good at being able to get combos out of dash attack and down throw. Has drag down up air a bit, although it's not as good as Sheik's or Joker's. So, yeah, he has that going for him. But main issue is just going to be a bit of recovery issues and then out of shield. As his recovery is kind of exploitable, although it's very fast, so it's not an easy one to exploit, but it still can be exploited if you have the timing down. Plus, he can also walkling on stages like Cal's Pokemon League for mix-ups. So, yeah. Next up is going to be Lucina. Lucina's character, I use single stop here. I also use the main Lucina, but I feel like everyone's just decided that Lucina's kind of fallen off, as Schultz is just a bit better in pretty much every way. Like, you have better kill power, better range, a bit worse frame data. Like, that's the one issue with Schultz, is that his frame data isn't as good as Lucina's. And I think whenever people start to exploit that more, they'll find that Lucina's probably better. But for now, I personally think Lucina's just a bit worse due to the fact that Schultz is doing better. You have neutral air, down tilt, forward air, back air, all really good for just shield pressure and neutral. Shield breaker, you have side special. For kill moves, you have counter. You have pretty good recovery. Same as Mars, where it's exploitable, but it's not that bad due to its speed. Really good out of shield. But main issue is just going to be kind of speed and kill power. Lucina, she doesn't really struggle to kill, but she only really kills like around 120, 110% if she gets forward smash at ledge. But like just in general, like 120, 130% on stage, and then off stage you can kill a bit higher using edge guards. But as long as you get in against Lucina's wall building with like forward air and back air, then Lucina really starts to fall apart because her disadvantage isn't that great. Like down air is not that great of a landing option. She pretty much can only just mix up by like falling down air, or falling, fast falling, down air dodge down, or counter as mix ups for landing. So that's probably the best way to exploit Lucina. And then you can also try to get close to her whenever she's doing like falling neutral air. Like you can try to approach her as she's jumping up, and then whenever she's falling down, she'll then be able to punish it because she will misspace it. But yeah, then you've got Wolf. Wolf's another character that's fallen off quite a bit. You have like down through into dash attack. You have stuff with back air. As back air is probably one of the best back airs in the game. I think Joker probably has the best back air with Arsene, but Wolf has a very strong back air that's able to kill very easily. It's just like Falco's pretty much, except stronger. You have forward smash, down smash, being able to kill very easily. Down smash has potential to 2-frame and kill. Down tilt 2 frames and can lead into kills, and can shield poke and can lead into tech chases. Worst thing about Wolf is recovery, as his recovery is pretty exploitable. But like neutral air is very good. I think Link has a slightly better neutral air, and I'll get into that, but they're both very comparable. The advantage to Wolf's neutral air is that it goes through moves, and Link's goes through shields. So if you're just landing with Wolf's neutral air, you're going to be able to like go through, like, let me just say like Metal Blade, for example, with Mega Man. I believe Wolf's neutral air will trade with it and still be able to hit Mega Man with its lingering hitbox. Whereas with Link, he would lose to the trade, but if Mega Man didn't throw out anything, and then Link neutral aired and crossed up. Then if he neutral aired again, he'd be able to shield poke, and he would be completely safe, as neutral air is very safe on shield, especially if you cross up using it. I'll talk more about Link in a second. Next is going to be Inkling. With Inkling, you have very good recovery, very good edge guarding, very good neutral, just no results. Like, it's not really won anything. That's why I don't think that they're top tier, and just high tier. Inkling does well, just doesn't really top 8, I guess they top 8 a bit, but they never really, like, place much higher than that. Like, you never hear of an Inkling winning a tournament. Like, you've heard of, or at least I've heard of, like, Wolf's winning tournaments or Lucina's, Link's, but I've never heard Inkling win anything, just got really good results. Or, not really good, but just, like, above average results. But I do think Inkling has the potential to be a lot better than what they currently are. I believe Armada's playing Inkling at the moment, for example, so you have one of the best melee players in the world playing the character, so they do have that going for them. Next is going to be Link. I do believe he is the best high tier character at the moment. He does have a very good potential to be top tier because of one move, which is Nair. As I said earlier, Nair is really good at cross-ups and just shield pressure in general. Like, there's literally like nothing that can beat Nair on shield. It's very fast, it's very safe, it can shield poke if you use it like, you can do Nair into back air and it will shield poke, just because of how much shield damage it does. If it's parried, that's like the only way that you can punish Link's Nair is through parrying. But I've seen like so many people have been complaining about it now, just because more people have been using Link as of late. He was like the most popular character in the game, but he never really got any competitive use. Like, whenever Ultimate came out, I saw a bunch of people do polls on like, oh, which characters are you playing, and it would be Link and Kirby at the top of like everyone. But in tournaments, you would never really see, and it was Breath of the Wild Link, not like Young Link or Toon Link. You would never really see Breath of the Wild Link in any tournaments. Link has a lot of stuff with Bomb that gets really complicated, with all the different moves interacting with the Bomb in different ways. Like, you could do Z-drop Bomb into neutral air. That's probably my favorite use of Bomb, is to Z-drop it into neutral air, as that can cover people approaching high and people approaching mid at like the same time, and then you can get a punish off of it. You can down throw the bomb at ledge from a jump, and you can use it to ledge trap people. Just because as long as the bomb's moving, it's going to have a hitbox. For some reason, they decided to make that a thing. That can cause hit stun, and if it causes hit stun at ledge, you're just dead against Link, because Link has enough range to forward smash you from there, and still be somewhat safe. Or you can just land with neutral air and then get a combo off of it, or land with back air and then do landing back air into rising back air into up special off stage, and then you die at like 60. The character is very good. You have down air. That beats out a lot of landing options just due to its range. The first frame of the move also spikes, and it is a very powerful spike. And it's very easy to land due to its range. Like, you can spike characters like King K. Rool, who have usually a pretty hard recovery to spike due to the propeller on top having a lot of range, but you can enter like King K. Rool and Peach and Daisy very easily using Link's down air. But yeah, now moving on to top tier. I'm sure this is the one that everyone's been waiting on. S tier. So, I believe this is the largest S tier I've had. If not, it's one of the largest. I decided not to do categories where I would count the number of people in each category. I just decided to do whatever felt right. And I do believe this is probably the most accurate way to pick top tier at the moment. So, yeah, we've got Mega Man, Zero Suit Samus, Fox, Palutena, Shulk, Pokemon Trainer, Wario, Snake, Pikachu, Joker, and Peach and Daisy. For top here, I feel like Peach, Daisy, and Joker, or Peach and Daisy and Joker, I mean, I feel like these, I'm counting them as 2 characters total, even though Peach and Daisy are technically separate characters. They're very similar. They're like so similar that there's not really enough for me to count them as two separate characters. So these two characters could be interchanged, and I feel like Snake and Pikachu could be interchanged, depending on what you favor. If you favor a lot more rushdown, then Pikachu's going to be higher, and then if you think that Joker's rushdown ability is better than Peach and Daisy's neutral, then you put Joker up higher. But yeah, I'll get more into that later. First, I'm going to start from the bottom of S tier, and then work my way up. So bottom of S tier is going to be my main, Mega Man. I always feel like I'm going to overrate the character. This is, what I believe, the highest rating I've given Mega Man, so if I do overrate the character, let me know, because I don't need to. I'm just able to see a lot of the strengths and weaknesses of the character more than other people who play the game that don't main Mega Man, because I do main the character. So yeah, with Mega Man, you have really good edge guarding abilities with back air, forward air, down air, neutral air, all being able to edge guard. You have very good neutral abilities with neutral air, forward tilt, jab, all being able to poke those with pellets. You have the two best moves of Mega Man are going to be like Metal Blade and Leaf Shield. Leaf Shield basically forces your opponent to where if they shield the first hit of Leaf Shield, they have to just sit there and take it, or else if they roll, then they're going to get punished, and if they sit and shield, then they're going to get punished. So pretty much regardless of what happens, if they shield the initial hit, then they're pretty much dead, unless Mega Man thinks that they ruled out of the way at the last second and then messes them up. So basically it's up to the Mega Man if it doesn't work. Although I have had issues with Leaf Shield where it does drop characters. With Metal Blade hits characters multiple times depending on the size of them and where it hits them from and the speed that the Metal Blade is going. So what I mean by that, if you see drop Metal Blade on a tall character like Ganondorf, it's going to do a lot more hits than if you throw it down on Pichu, because the Metal Blade will be traveling faster and it will be going through a smaller character, and with Ganondorf it's going to be going through a larger character at a slower speed. So wider characters, for example, are going to be hit a lot harder by the vertical, or not, the horizontal form, or horizontal throw of the Metal Blade. So, yeah, I guess that's something to keep in mind there. And Metal Blade also has a ton of combo potential. You can combo Metal Blade into back air, into forward air, into up air, and combo it into a grab to be able to get a grab confirm at a lower percent. You can Z-drop it at ledge, combo into edge guard options. You can Z-drop it at ledge to be able to reverse edge guard people. You can throw it at the ledge to be able to recover the stage. You can keep it in disadvantage to have a very fast down option, or like a landing option. If you have Metal Blade in your hand, you can throw it down and then, or Z-drop it and be able to not have to worry about using down air, which is a lot laggier of an option. So it kind of buffs Mega Man's landing options. Mega Man has one of the best recoveries in the game. He can Crash Bomber into the side of the stage to be able to recover a bit better, although it's not that useful for recovery. In my opinion, it's more useful for anti-edge guarding, as if you do it whenever you're hit off stage, if somebody's trying to wait at the ledge to two-frame you, then it can hit them on the ledge, if you do it high enough. And then you can also hit people that are waiting on the ledge for you if they're not expecting it, and then you can force them into a shield and be able to recover back to the stage for free. Or, you know, you can just hit the stage, and then if they jump off stage to try to edge guard you and recover low and they up special, then they're going to be hit by the Crash Bomber, and then you're hit by the Crash Bomber as well, and then you can get a second up special out of it and be able to turn a low recovery into a high recovery. Or a mid recovery if you just stay low. And you're also able to retain your jump after up specialing and air dodge, so kind of like with Banjo, although Mega Man technically had it first. You can up special, then you can jump, and then you can air dodge. And then if you're on stage, you can jump, up special, jump, and air dodge to be able to, and air dodge upward, I mean, to be able to get the maximum height out of your potential recovery, I guess. But yeah, disadvantages of Mega Man are going to be kill power, kind of. If you're at a distance, you can kill with forward smash, although it's pretty easily dodged. Outside of that, you don't really have any kill options at a distance. You have to be pretty close to your opponent. A lot of Mega Man's kill options are kind of slow too, like down smash and up smash have a lot of in lag. Back air and forward air lack range, so does down smash and up smash, but they have a lot more kill power than those two. The good thing about those two is that they can edge guard. And then another issue with Mega Man is characters with disjoints, like Link and Joker can kind of hit Mega Man pretty easily and start getting combos off of that. And then if Mega Man is in shield, he's in a pretty bad spot, because shielding at all with Mega Man is kind of just a bad idea due to how bad his auto shield is. Like, in most situations, I would try to avoid shielding. Like just throw out an up special, or just jump, or run out of the way instead of shielding. Unless you just absolutely have to shield. Just due to the fact of how bad it is. Unless you can parry well, in which case then parry all you want. But Mega Man's just out of shield in general is one of the worst in the game. So yeah, on to Zero Suit Samus. Zero Suit Samus has gotten a lot of results. One of the best characters in the game, you have Mars and Nairo playing Zero Suit. A lot of people in Japan apparently think Zero Suit is like the best character in the game. Well, I wouldn't go that far, but she is very strong. You have the paralyzed shot being able to get combos. Neutral air is pretty much safe regardless of what you do, and can combo into pretty much everything that Zero Suit has. Landing up air is pretty safe and can combo. Up special still kills like it does in Smash 4, although it's not as strong as it was in Smash 4. What I mean by that is that you can still like up air, up special someone and be able to pick up the kill, although it's not the same as it was in Smash 4, where you can like get someone with a paralyzed shot and then up special them at like 80% at the ledge and them die. Which I have done before with ZSS against, I believe it was Mario, so it's like an average weight character at about 80 or 90%. Disadvantages of Zero Suit is mainly just recovery and weight. Maybe a bit of ending lag on certain moves, but it's not too bad. Hold on a second. I don't know why my mouth is just acting weird in the stream, but yeah, my mouth and throat are kind of hurting, I guess, from all the talking I've been doing. But yeah, you have the recovery of Zero Suit being kind of exploitable. It's not really that bad as it, or as much as it is exploitable. Like if you hit Zero Suit out of down specials, you can't use it again, so that forces her to have to jump, Zair, or up special to be able to recover, and all of which can be edge guarded if you're just used to how each of the moves work. And then Zero Suit being a lightweight just means that she dies early. And she's kind of tall as well, so she can be comboed decently, but she can get out of combos very easily using down special. Like, that's pretty much just a get out of disadvantage free card, unless your opponent reads it, in which case you die for doing it, so that's kind of the downside of it. Next up is Fox. Fox is a character I don't really know, I guess, too much about Fox to be able to tier him properly, because I've either put him in, like, the top 5, or I've put him in high tier, just because I'm not too sure of the character, if I'm being honest. I know Light's been doing really well with Fox. There's been a lot of Fox players that have been doing really well, so all over the world. He's gotten a lot of good results and stuff, but you have the lightweight, you have, I guess it's not dim light, yeah, you have lightweight. You have really good kill power, though. That's the one thing about Fox that kind of just saves him, is that he has very strong kill power and combo potential. You have, like, down tilt, fair, into itself a bunch. You have up smash for kill power, and it's very fast. You have neutral air, which is very safe and fast. You have fast falling speed, so you can kind of jump and then bait someone into trying to stuff out your jump and then fast fall into like an up smash. You have back air. You have really poor edge guarding as well, I guess. Like, Fox has one of, if not the worst abilities to edge guard in the game. Like, even Little Mac has like side special off stage to be able to pick up kills. Or I guess even maybe KO punch someone off stage as well, although that's a lot riskier than just side specialing, although either way you die if you do either one of those options I said, but Side specialing is a bit safer just due to the fact that it covers horizontal range instead of vertical, and a lot of characters are going to be escorted horizontally than vertically. But yeah, that pretty much sums up Fox there. I guess exploitable recovery as well, and then because if your recovery and lightweight are going to be dying kind of early. Next up is going to be Palutena. Palutena been doing very well, although I haven't really seen many Palutenas recently. I know Naira still uses Palutena. You have like up throw, up air, you have neutral air into itself a bunch, you have back air, and dash attack having the shield to protect you from certain hits, allowing you to approach pretty easily. You have side special, being able to pick up kills off stage and zone. Up smash has a ton of range. The main issue with Palutena, I would say, is that her teleport recovery doesn't go as far as a lot of the other teleports. It's one of the better teleports just because of its distance, but I mean, it can still be like ledge trumped into back air, and then Palutena dies if you get ledge trumped to back air by like Roy or Chrome. For example, you have... Yeah, I guess that's probably Palutena's main weakness, just that maybe speed on certain moves have a bit of landing lag and stuff, although it's not too bad. Kill power might be a bit of an issue, but it's not that bad of one for Palutena either. This is pretty much the point where the characters don't really have that many weaknesses, I would say. The only one who really has weaknesses so far, like the rest of top here, I would say it would be like glaring weaknesses would be Wario, Charizard, and I guess just Pokemon Trainer in general, actually, and Shulk. So maybe Palutena is better than them because they have glaring weaknesses, and Palutena doesn't really have as glaring of one. But I think that their strengths make up for their weaknesses a lot more than Palutena's strengths make up for her lack of weaknesses. So yeah, next up is going to be Shulk. His weakness is recovering frame data. His frame data is pretty bad. A lot of his moves have a ton of lag, but could be very fast with speed, or he could recover very well with jump, or with speed as well, allowing him to boost his recovery. You have really good shield pressure with your Buster and Speed Art, because both of them result in you getting nared into oblivion by Shulk. Even without the Monado arts, you have just the fact that Shulk's neutral air at lower percent pretty much does the same thing, but you just have to short hop it really well. Shulk can switch arts in the middle of true combos and be able to escape them by swapping arts. Gets you a few frames of invincibility, and you also have the fact that you can just go into shield art and be able to escape the combo for free using that, or just having it do less damage to you. Shield art increases your weight and decreases your speed and damage output. And knockback, or I guess it's knockback and speed, not really damage output. But yeah, you can also just go into like jump and then jump out of a combo, or you can go into speed and just run out of combo with Shulk. But yeah, main issues are recovery and frame data. Next up is going to be Pokemon Trainer. Pokemon Trainer's been doing really well in tournaments. Shulk actually hasn't really gotten that many tournament results either. He's the character that I always say has potential, because pretty much everyone says he has potential, so I was just making like a joke out of it by saying he has potential. Yeah, I know at the beginning of Ultimate everyone was like, this character has potential, and during Smash 4 everyone was like, Shulk has potential, but he's just not good in the game due to his frame data. But then in this game, everyone got a speed boost, so frame data didn't really matter as much, I guess. It still matters for certain characters. Like, for the slower characters, it matters a lot more than it does for the faster characters. Because a lot of the fast characters have really laggy moves. Like Sonic with neutral special is very laggy, but you don't really hear people talk about it too much because it's not that big of an issue. And Shulk with speed art is pretty much no exception to that, so yeah. But next up is Pokemon Trainer. As I said before, Pokemon Trainer has some pretty good results. You have the Squirtle, Charizard, and Ivysaur for Pokemon Trainer. Each one has their own strengths and weaknesses. Charizard's heavy, kind of fast on the ground, not so fast in the air, but has the best recovery out of the three, and can survive the longest, and also has the best kill power. And I believe technically not the most range, but back air does have a really good amount of range. I don't know if it's better than Ivysaur's special though, or Ivysaur's side special, but I believe actually Charizard's Flame Breath actually beats out Ivysaur's side special in distance. Although I'm not 100% sure on that because I haven't lapped that out myself to see. But yeah, I guess I'll go over all the Pokemon individually. So, yeah, with Charizard you have weight and speed and kill power, but main issue is that you have really bad frame data. While he is one of the fastest characters on the ground, his air speed isn't that great. His air game, I guess, with like neutral air and stuff, is actually not that bad. It's just he's so slow that it doesn't really matter. And then on the ground, his ground attacks are so slow that his movement speed doesn't really matter, so it kind of like nullifies each other and just makes him kind of average. I used to think he was a lot worse than he actually is. I believe a lot of people think he's a lot worse than he actually is, but he's not that bad. Like, I've seen people who actually just solo main Charizard. They don't do that well in tournaments, but I mean, I saw someone who actually didn't do that bad at like a local tournament I was just watching on Twitch, because if I'm bored, sometimes I'll just go through Twitch and go through and see if there are any tournaments on and watch them. But yeah, moving on to Ivysaur. Ivysaur has like the most consistency between Squirtle and Charizard. You have good kill power and decent combos. Actually, Charizard doesn't have that bad of combos, but Squirtle has a lot better ones. Squirtle has some decent range. Squirtle has, or not Squirtle, Ivysaur has some decent range. Pit is actually just not visible at the moment. He's down here. Some of the tier lists are invisible, actually. I probably should change that, just by doing this. So there, that should make everyone somewhat visible. But yeah, with Ivysaur you have just kind of average both, and then a weaker recovery, and then Squirtle has an average recovery, pretty bad kill power, but good combos. And then lightweight, so he dies kind of early, compared to the other two Pokemon. Next is going to be Wario. Wario has good weight. His main issue is just his recovery, I would say, and then like down smash and forward smash are just really bad moves. Down smash especially is probably like the worst down smash in the game. It has like no kill power, it has a ton of ending lag, it has a ton of like just negative shield stun, or it's like negative frame data on shield. But you have Waft, you have the Bite of 87. No, not really, but you just have the Bite, and then you have the Bike as well. Which the Bite increases your Waft charge speed, so it won't be the full 2 minutes, it'll be a bit faster if you try to eat people out of shield. Or not out of shield, but while they're in their shield or throwing out a defensive option, so that registers as a command grab, you can hit people through, stuff like that. You have the Bike, which is able to hit people on stage and off stage, and then also boost your recovery by quite a bit. And then Waft also boosts your recovery, but it's mainly just used for killing out of combos at like 30%. People always say that playing against Wario is pretty much just playing against a character with 3 stocks when you have 2 stocks, because if they get a combo into Waft on you, then that's just your stock, and it works from 0 to like 30%, and then they have to do different combos at like 30, but they can still combo into Waft at 30. That's generally the range that they're going to start trying to do a lot of combos. After that, they'll start trying to play neutral, and then setting up for Waft out of neutral. Next is going to be Snake. As I said earlier, I believe Snake and Pikachu could probably change spots depending on if you favor Rushdown or projectile-based characters. Personally, I think Rushdown characters do a bit better than projectile-based, which is why I have Pikachu a bit higher. Snake has really good zoning potential. The main issue with Snake, I would say, is just the fact that if he is rushed down, his options aren't that bad, but they start great. Like, that's his main weakness. It's not that bad of a weakness, actually. Because he still has, like, his aerials and stuff that save him in those kinds of situations. I guess forward smash isn't really that great of a move unless you have a good ability to read your opponent, but yeah, outside of that, I'd really say that Snake doesn't really have that many weaknesses. Up special is really good for recovering, and then you can also use down special to have an infinite recovery, or technically infinite, although if you're at like 999%, I'm pretty sure you just die due to the fact that the grenade will... Sorry, not the grenade, but the C4 will kill you. Even if you tech into the stage. Or try to tech into the stage, because it's going to be untechable at that percent for sure. But yeah, you have Nikita, which is kind of a better character than some of the cast at edgeguarding. It definitely has better edgeguarding potential than Fox. But it's not really that great of an... Or it's okay as long as you're really tricky about how you use it. Like, you don't just go straight for the kill, as a lot of people are going to see that coming. But a lot of people are starting to figure out ways around even the more tricky uses of Nikita, where you do like loops and stuff to try to bait people into stalling their approach and then punishing the stall. People are starting to figure out ways around that, but some characters just don't even have ways around that, like Cloud or Little Mike, for example. They're just going to die to Nikita regardless. It just invalidates them completely. Up smash is really good at just ledge trapping. You can use that in combination with C4 and grenades to have very good ledge trapping. I guess an issue with Snake is that his ledge trump isn't really that great. Like, back air is okay, but most of the time you're just going to be ledge trapping instead, so you're not really going to get into a situation. I guess movement speed, that kind of fall under that, as his aerial and ground movement speed is just a bit average, if not a bit below average, I would say. Just because Snake doesn't really move around that much, he's just kind of stationary in his zoning. Down throw is really good, but most of his other throws aren't really that great. Like, back throw is okay because you can combo out of it. Forward throw is decent because of the same reason, although I think back throw is better, in my opinion, as it's a lot easier to set up for up smash into back throw than it is up smash into forward throw. And then you have up throw, which has combo potential into up tilt. Up tilt's really good at killing, and can also hit people through platforms. So Snake has a lot of good stuff, but Pikachu has pretty much no ending lag on any move. His recovery is one of the best in the game. He can recover underneath the stage for like a solid minute without having to touch the ground. Just going from ledge to ledge. Let's see, he has Thunder Jolts, he has back air, neutral air, forward air, down air, up air. All of those moves are pretty much good moves. Up tilt's good. Up smash is probably Pikachu's worst move, and it's like not even that bad. Forward smash has a ton of range. Down smash has like a long-lasting ability, but it's not super long like Wario's down smash, where if you use it, you're just gonna die. It's like just the perfect amount of length to where it's not too long, but it's not too short, and it has like 0 ending lag as well. Is another thing about it. So it's basically, it's not unpunishable. It's probably one of his more punishable moves, but it's not that bad. Let's see, what else do you have? You have general good combo and edgeguard potential. But yeah, the one thing about Pikachu over Joker, I said this in my 3.1.0 tier list, or 3. Is one of those ones. Pikachu is more consistent than Joker, but I feel like now Joker has gotten a lot more consistent. In general, not more consistent than Pikachu, but consistent enough to be better than Pikachu. Like, Pikachu can consistently kill you at 100%, whenever Joker might not be able to kill you at 100%. But if he gets Arsene, then he's able to kill you at 100%, or he's even able to kill you at like 80% with Arsene in the same type of scenario. So that's what I mean by consistency. But yeah, now moving on to, or I guess I can say Pikachu's weakness is just that if you're able to read what's happening, or where if you have large hitboxes, you might be able to wall out Pikachu. Or you can just try to anti-air Pikachu, although that's pretty difficult to do. If you do manage to do that, then you can just shut down Pikachu by anti-airing him. But it's very hard to do. Next up is going to be Joker. Joker, I believe, is the second best character in the game at the moment. I used to think he was the best, and then I pretty much thought he was the second best for a while. Either losing to Pikachu, and now I think losing to Peach and Daisy. Joker has a very good recovery that's nerfed by Arsene, but still not that bad. Unless he lands on stage, in which case it has like half a second of in lag, which isn't that great, but yeah, it's like a full 30 frames of in lag, so half a second because the game runs at 60. Let's see, we've got back air, which is arguably the best back air in the game. It's disjointed. It's like 6 frames total, excluding you just being like it has 6 frames of startup and then 0 frames of end lag pretty much, so you can just spam it like that. If you notice MK Leo at ledge, like I watched an analysis video about this, like that's pretty much what he does, just back airs, because you can't really beat it. If you recover high, then you get hit by back air and you die if they have Arsene or if you're at a high enough percent. If you recover low, Joker has enough time to be able to land on the ground and then turn around and do a roar back air, which pretty much just puts you in the same situation but on the other side of the stage if you're at higher percent, and then if you're at like a mid percent, that just resets to neutral. And then just back air off stage in general is just very strong. On stage it sets up walls. Forward air has combo potential with the first hit, second hit it's able to kill off stage with edge guarding, although it's weaker than back air, just due to the fact that it's not as fast. Up air has drag down into up smash, or into down throw into up air, into drag down into down throw into up air into drag down, which can loop into an up smash, down smash, to be able to kill. Or with Arsene, you can do down air into up smash at like 50 and it kill. You can also do down air into back air at like 80 and it kill, with Arsene, or down air into up air at like 130, or not 130, like 110 and a kill. So yeah, Joker, strength, being able to kill, has very strong neutral, very strong camping, has a lot of mix-up potential with recovery, but the worst thing about Joker is that, if he loses Arsene, he loses a lot of kill power, but, I mean, he still has some kill power. Like, when I say a lot of kill power, Arsene, like, to put it in terms of percent, having Arsene would be like having 300% kill power, and then having no Arsene would be like having about 230% kill power. Like, you still have better kill power than other characters, just due to the fact that you have combos and stuff, but, you're just not as great as you are with Arsene. Like, a regular character would have, like, 100, or I guess, okay, so a regular character would have 100% kill power. With Arsene, you'd have about 200%, and then without Arsene, you'd have about 130%. If you combo, well enough. If you don't combo well enough, it'd probably be about average. So, yeah, I would say that's the main issue. And then if you land on stage with Arsene, then you get punished. And then you can also be 2 framed pretty easily with Arsene if you land off, or if you try to land on the ledge. With Peach and Daisy, they have one of the best, if not the best, abilities to edge guard in the game. They probably have the best neutral. Like, I would say that's what puts them. Like, I can see people arguing that they don't have the best neutral, but I believe that they do, which is why I put them at the top of S tier, just because neutral is the most important thing in Smash. And then, not only do they have the best neutral, but they have one of the best advantages, so that they have one of the best follow-up. Like, there are a lot of characters that have good neutrals, but they just lack the advantage state to be able to do anything with neutral until higher percents. Whereas with Peach and Daisy, if they win neutral, then you're most likely going to die no matter what percent you're at. If you're at a low percent, you're going to get comboed into an edge guard or death. And then if you're at a high percent, you're going to be put into a position where you edge guard. If you're at a mid percent, you're going to be put into a position where you edge guard, or where you get edge guarded. You have turnips, which can also be bombs from Mr. Saturn. You have one of the best recoveries in the game. You have float canceling into combos. Like, the main weakness of Peach and Daisy is their weight, I would say, and then occasionally their range, and they can be camped out a bit. Like, if you're playing against a Samus with Peach and Daisy, it's going to be a bit harder for them, but it's not a losing matchup. It's just not that fun of a matchup to play for them, I would say. Because they just have to be a lot more careful on how they approach and stuff. Because their approach isn't really that great. They have to be approached a lot, but they can make it very annoying if you don't approach them with turn-ups and bombs and, like, side special, forward air. Like, trying to anti-air you but not even hitting you can be annoying just because they can keep doing that over and over again. And then they have really good out-of-shield. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the tier list. If you want to see the full tier list, here it is. I usually zoom out in the end of the video, but somebody was wondering where Pit was in the chat, so I figured I would just put it on screen in full. So yeah, hopefully you can kind of understand where I'm coming from with a lot of my opinions. I feel like some of them were a bit controversial, like Ganondorf being better than Hero. I hope that I kind of explained the positions of the characters well enough for you to be able to understand my position on them. If you disagree with the list, then just let me know in the comments or on Discord. You can do like !Discord in Twitch chat at like any point in time, as long as Twitch isn't down or Nightbot isn't down, and you should be able to get a link. But you can also check the description of this YouTube video whenever it's out on YouTube, which should be Friday. Friday. So, yeah, wait, hold on. No, it will be out Saturday, actually, because it's 12. I didn't see the time properly. I thought it said 11. So yeah, it's going to be out Saturday, which is later today. I didn't realize it was this late already. I think I started the stream at like 10, so I can't see how long the session is at the moment. So I'm assuming this was one of my longer tier lists, so kind of sorry about that. I will be putting timestamps in the description. I just have to get them done first, so just keep that in mind, I guess. So it'll be a while before it's 100% finished, as I have to rewatch the whole video myself and then be able to do it. But yeah, I will be putting the link to Discord in the chat if you want to join it. There's not that many people on it, so it's kind of just gotta grow. But I do announcements through there. I don't really have a Twitter or anything. Don't really care for it, so if you're just interested in stuff like that, you can find that there. I also have like different sections in Discord where you can talk about different things. Like I have a Pokemon section, have Smash arenas if you want to make an arena, have like game tips and stuff where I can give tips, or other people that are in the Discord can give tips about different characters. So yeah, and then like tier list discussions as well. But for now, let me just zoom out once more. Yeah, I kind of want this, so like where none of the characters are cut off in there. That might be a better picture for you if you're trying to just take a screenshot of this where none of the characters are cut off. But yeah, as for time, this is probably going to be a good spot to end the stream, as it is 12:10, or like what, 12:13 now. So I will be ending the stream here, and I guess I hope to see everyone in the next one.